Hi, welcome to my podcast. I'm joined by two guests today. This is,
Kiana.
Gina.
and today we are talking about personal interests, having friends who are into things that you're not really that into, and how it broadens your horizons. First question. So, Jana, what are your personal interests?
My personal interests include shopping, sweet treat runs, and for a little bit of diversity, maybe my new hobby is going to be running.
So do you feel like there's a common theme amongst all your interests?
For the first two, I would say yes. I like being out and about with my friends. I feel like Vancouver is a beautiful city, and I like to be outdoors a lot, I would say, and surrounded with friends.
Would you say your friends have like very similar interests to you, or is like certain friends very similar, certain friends quite different?
I would say growing up and like my lifelong friends from elementary and high school, I would say we're pretty similar, but I think coming to BCIT, I've definitely been like introduced to people that I wouldn't say I wouldn't necessarily be friends with, but I think the close proximity has forced me to like, meet a lot of different people, but I think it's very good for me.
So what she's saying is she wouldn't have been friends with me if she was forced to.
No, I feel like second year especially of our program has introduced me to a lot of people that I'm very glad to have met. I feel like I'm a very introverted person, so like I think BCIT has forced me to kind of step out to my comfort zone, but I think it's also introduced me to people that have made me like a better person. Critical.
How about you, Kiana? What are your interests?
Well, funny you ask, 'cause my interests are very similar to Gina's. I think just like the main thing, like going out with friends and having a good time.
So like what would your ideal keynote be?
I think having no plan. 'Cause the best things happen when you don't have a plan.
And so no plan, would that be like where in Vancouver would you want to start this no plan keynote?
Where?
It's like you hit up all your friends and you're like, we are meeting.
In PC. Pacific Center.
Terrible.
Why? For a little shopping moment. Then maybe after getting food in Yaletown, or maybe a little bit further, we could go to Kids. I was actually just talking about Jana with this earlier. Kids is a really, like, a lot of good food spots, but
Really?
yeah.
Would you say most of your friends are kind of like similar in terms of their interests and like the type of people they are, or you have like a very broad friendship?
Oh my gosh, that's such a distorted sorry. But I think like my childhood friends, we all have like one thing, like one main thing in common, but we all have like different like side things that we're interested in. And then yeah, like coming to BCIT, I feel like you're always just together, so you're kind of like forced to be friends, but it's like really easy to become friends with people.
Do you feel like you have like different ways of becoming friends when it comes to like guys versus girls, or like are you kind of just the same and you let it happen the way it is?
I don't know, because in high school, like I was never like close with the guys in my grade. So I think like coming to BCIT, it was just like everybody was just open to like meeting people and making new friends. So it was just like really easy, and it wasn't like, oh, I was treating girls differently than the guys. It was just like I just wanted to meet people.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think I ever had many guy friends going on. I just feel like I don't know, I just always talk to girls because it's like seems like a safer option. I feel like coming to BCIT, like Hannah said, I feel like because of the environment we're put into, we meet a lot of different people who just want to meet people, and I think also being part of a club plays a role into that. So I feel like I didn't approach friendships differently. I feel like when you think about it as like a gendered thing, especially when you're talking about the opposite gender friendships, I feel like make it into like a big deal when it's really not because you're all people.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like for me, I've always been friends with kind of like guys and girls. It's never really been a split split. If anything, I've been friends with girls more than guys, but I feel like that's just
And
the way I was raised. But BCIT for me, expand on that. Well, I was raised by like a single mom for a while, and then all my cousins were girls, so I was basically like everyone I was around was pretty much girls. And I feel like guys, I don't always relate with all the time because I just find sometimes they think stupidly. And then I got like those really close guy friends who like we think the same, but as a whole, I would say my friend group is more leaning towards girls and guys, and I think that's just who I'm personally comfortable with. But BCIT, like for me, was a little bit weird in terms of making friends because I think a lot of people are like a few years younger than me. So it's like, how do I like bridge those gaps? And I found that the common theme of like school and like the stuff we're working on is a good way to like bridge into that. Like Kiana and I became super close because we were just studying all the time, and then from that we got to know each other more. Jane and I got closer because I was honestly probably because I was working at the uni so much, and then we just got to know each other more. So school was like a good bridge for me to make friends with more people. And then I am finding like that guys at school specifically, I tend to like treat more professionally, and then I'm finding I'm getting closer with a lot of the girls, and then the guys who are like also that type of guy who like are closer with girls for the most part, I'm getting closer with on a more friendship level too. But how do you like bridge a gap between like a professional friendship and like an actual friendship? How do you like break down those barriers with boundaries?
Wow. I feel like that's like a big question, especially like now that we're in internships. It's like how it's almost a thing about like coworkers. Like, is it just a coworker or like are you guys gonna become friends situation? And I feel like you kind of just have to like gauge kind of like the environment you're in. Like, are people real, like sharing details about their personal life, or is it strictly just work talk? Because if it's strictly work talk, then I'm like, I think it's fun to talk about what you do on the weekend, but like not to get things too personal. But I feel like for me, especially at work, I had a buddy going into my internship, and I feel like really early on we kind of just like broke the fourth wall, and we were kind of just like talking about our life. And I feel like now I can consider us friends, and like we do stuff outside of work together. But I feel like professional wise, it all depends on like, I feel like you just like if they're clearly have this like boundary and this wall up, like I don't try to push the wall.
What was the question?
How do you like build friendships from it starting in like a professional setting?
Oh wait, I literally don't know how to answer that.
Well, I think that's like such a hard question because it's like this is the first time that I'm experiencing like a very professional environment. Like KEG right now, it's like everybody just like does whatever they want, and it's like there's like you're working with like a 15-year-old, and then you're also working with someone that's like 50 years old. So it's like you can joke around with both of them, where it's like where now it's like being in an actual professional setting. I feel like I'm still learning how to kind of, I don't know, like, yeah, I guess.
I feel like you also bring up a good point about like age gaps in friendships.
Yeah.
I feel like BCIT is like the first time that I've been kind of introduced to like such big age gaps within my friendships, but I honestly don't think age really changes the thing. If anything, it just like helps with maturity levels. Like going into first year, I feel like I was just like so worried about like making friends as a whole. And like within my set, I feel like we had a big range of ages from people straight out of high school to like someone with 2 years of university experience or have a university degree. And I would say like one of my best friends is someone with a university degree, and he literally like has a brother my age. But I don't think you really notice the age gaps in a friendship. I think it's about just like the people you surround yourself with, and if you have like the same values and whatnot and the same interests, I don't think age plays a role into it. If anything, I prefer being friends with older people because I feel like you're past the immaturity age of like people who do some dumb stuff in high school.
So you're calling me uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. But no, I feel like, I don't know, I just think that's something that BCIT is good at because like you meet people from so many different backgrounds, like experiences. You don't know like what people have done like past 5 years of their life. Like some people may have lived in a whole different part of the world, went to university for a year, took a gap year or whatever. But, like now you're all together for like a common purpose.
And like talking about age, it's for either of you. do you feel like your interests over time have like changed a lot, or have they remained like pretty much the same?
I feel like I have those like friends that bring out that like immaturity in me, but then it's like you're also able to like be professional. I think like with like everybody at BCIT, like sometimes we are a little bit immature when we're together, but at the same time when it's like we have to get stuff done, we're all able to like switch to that like mature level. Yeah.
I would agree. I feel like I'm very much the same person that I think I was probably in literally elementary school. I think my friends see it too. They're like, you haven't really changed. I feel like my personality is just the same. Like, I'm honestly very introverted. I feel like it's only now that like I feel like also like my friendship with Cole. Like if he didn't talk to me, I'm gonna be honest, I probably wouldn't have talked to him. Like I just can't speak to people like that. But I think
I thought she didn't like me at first.
see, and like that's a common thing. So I think that's something I need to work on. But I don't know. I feel like I'm so introverted in a way that it's hard for me to like talk to other people, especially in the school setting. I feel like honestly making friends is hard when you like start something. So I feel like I mean everyone's trying to. Oh my god.
Check out behind the scenes for footage.
I've lost my train of thought, but I don't know.
Making friends is hard.
Yes, I just think making friends is hard in general. I feel like you're in it, especially when you're in the age range we are. I feel like people are so judgmental for no reason, and it's like, I feel like everything you say you have to think over 1,000 times before you say it, because like, hey, what if someone's gonna think what I said was weird, and then they're gonna tell their friends, and then no one's gonna be my friend. It's like this internal spiral almost.
But I feel like BCIT is such like an easy place to make friends. Like all my other friends go to like UBC, SFU, like Gara, and they're in like their 3rd or 4th year, and they're just starting to like meet people and like make friends. And it's like literally the first day, like me, Cole, and this other girl in our class like literally went out and was like doing homework together on like, the first day. So I think it's just like everybody's outgoing. Even though like I'm very introverted, I feel like there's other people that like will just come up to you, and then from there you just like your friendship blossoms.
This sounds like a paid partnership for BCIT. Like, you guys should
Yeah.
find a BCIT.
You should send this to Erin. She needs promotions, right? $500.
No, but I agree with everything Hannah just said. I think it's true.
I feel like BCIT made it a lot easier to make friends. I was at SFU for a couple semesters, and the only reason I made friends was because I joined the frat. And outside of the frat, I was not friends with anybody. Like, no one even like put any effort into trying to make friends. But as soon as like first day at BCIT, I went out for like a lunch with people, went out and studied with Deanna. Like, it was so much easier, and I think it's because of the atmosphere of BCIT. It's built as like a cohort, so you are working together and you feel that coming into it. So it kind of forces you to make friends, and if not, then you're just gonna be a loner. For 2 years at BCIT as a loner. It's,
Yeah, I think if we're on a topic of making friends, it's all about like finding people with the same interest or even different interests. But I think for me, at least, coming to BCIT was just like, should we start with the study date, and then like you surround yourself with people that like you want in your life, and I think, like I said, same values, same morals, and that kind of just like then the people you surround yourself with just starts to kind of shape around that, and then you find a good group of people that you spend your time with.
check it out.
It's a life lesson now.
Oh my god, 14 minutes.
Wow.
Let's do the outro.
Aw. Let's make it 45 minutes long.
It's been fun. I would do this.
This is fun.
They'll come back. Yeah, so today we talked about friends and personal interests and how to like bridge that gap between professionalism and friendship, and different tips on how to make friends and just putting yourself out there. So I just want to say thank you to Hannah and Jane, and join for the next podcast.
Bye.